Hello, scrappers. Scrap and Lou here. I've got something vintage and special. It is a certifiable vintage thing. I don't know what it is. It's got a big honking transformer, so this is maybe some kind of a power supply. It's on a wooden board. It just looks really old. I don't know. I'm thinking 60s, 70s. I'm guessing. I don't know. And today we're going to take it apart and see what's inside. Obviously, the value is probably in this part right here, in the transformer. But I don't know what other secrets this holds. So that's what we're going to find out. All right. So if I knew what this was, if it could be fixed, if it would be, there's anything to it, I probably would do more with it, but really, I have no idea. So, lots of Phillips screws. We've got some MOSFETs on top here with the big heat sink. You know, I see there's a fuse here, so some brass in that. Not sure what's all in this, but it's some sort of power supply type thing. So let's start off with that. Let's see what's inside that thing. My videographer today is Aaron.
Hi.
And Aaron's so excited to do this for me and just so pleased. I want to tell you guys a little bit about this particular item. I got this item through a charity auction place. Giving to charity. Giving the number 2 charity. And I'm going to link some stuff in the video. This is a very good charity. Basically, it does a charity auction, takes donations for both auction items and items to help those in need. And the proprietor, John, is a very loving, caring man that is there to help the community, and licensed auctioneer as well. And he runs a wonderful auction. A lot of it is collectible stuff, and a lot of it is donations. And so, anyway, this particular item is something that in my travels with them I have come across. So I am very pleased to use it to make a video, and so we can all learn about this piece of electronics history. I will likely save some parts off of this like I did the last time I did a vintage item. And you know, some of those will get reused in probably some artwork inside this thing pretty quickly here.
Sorta looks like a battery.
Well, kind of. It's got capacitors in it. It kind of is. Okay. So we've got this, and I'm curious to see. I imagine this is steel, but what if it's not? It is. So that's just going to go there. And that's an interesting piece. I might keep that. That's kind of interesting. Okay, so take a look at what's inside here. So we've got heat shields, and we've got, for sure, we've got a small transformer in here. And again, let's dig a little deeper and see what exactly we have in here. Hey, okay, so got that lid off. I'm going to take a look inside here. This is interesting. It's some sort of it's like a plastic screw or something. I'm not even sure if I can take that off or not. I don't know that I've ever seen that before. Yeah, that's kind of what that was. A relay, but I'm not sure. And yeah, it's interesting. This is Japan on it. It's interesting. All right, let's see. And then obviously old style components. I'm going to say this is 70s. That would be my guess, and that's what it is a guess. And so once again, I just want to mention again, it's Giving to Charity. It's a charity out of Edmonton, and it helps those in needs, often focusing on clients that sort of fall between the cracks, whether that's the elderly, you know, those with experiencing difficulties with housing. So John does some great work with that, and the key to his help is the charity auction, and those who participate both in terms of donating to it and to those who participate in the auction itself. He also does accept items that would be beneficial to the clientele, so that's another way that he helps. And I shouldn't say just John, I mean I certainly know John, but also John's wife has been instrumental in making this charity happen. So, you've got, old hockey cards kicking around. You've got, like the other day, one thing I got was I had 2 boxes of 7-inch ceramic plates. Well, those can be used by his clients, I had managed to get a bunch of new kids' jackets. I kept some because we foster parent and those could be useful, but I had more than I could ever use. I'm not gonna do this now, but I'll put this aside. So this is a ferrous, and you break away the plastic in that, and then you can slice this open and take out the copper. Now, about that break in the action there, where you just had a thing, not like this thing. This is a thing. We don't know what this thing is, but we had a thing. So, anyways, I took the time to clip off a few components here. I've got a jar of all my ceramic capacitors, and I know that there are some materials in there. There's silver in there. There can be some other things like palladium and such, but I think the silver is kind of the main thing that people would look after. I suspect this is a relay, so let's open it up and find out if that's indeed what this is. And that, so this is all ferrite in here, and then we've got these 2 spools of copper. I'm going to see if I can get them. Yeah, here we go. So the ferrite goes in with the shred. And then this part is just fun. This is the enjoyable part, like you end up with this wonderful little thing of copper. So we'll just put that over there. And yeah, it only weighs a gram or 2 and it's only worth a penny or 2, but first of all, I'll say what everybody else says. It all adds up. And there's just something fun about it. Now, this, as far as I can tell, these are all brass. And what I have to challenge here is to figure out the way to take these off of here. And I'm not even sure what a good way of doing that. And I think I'm just going to try to bust these apart a little bit.
Scrapnel.
Beware scrapnel. There's a definite piece of scrapnel there. And then another piece of scrapnel. And for those of you who haven't, this is my term, by the way. This is my contribution to the scrapping world, is the term scrapnel, which is shrapnel, which comes about as in the process of doing scrapping. It's wow, where did that one go?
Dead.
Yeah. All right, so I managed to get those pieces of brass out. I have another piece that went flying. We'll figure it out later. And of course, any type of electronics, whatever, you're going to end up with some supply of wire. And this actually got, if you look over here, there's a lot of wire. We're going to rescue all that wire. And of course, that wire is worth something. It's not worth a lot, but it is worth something. Check with your scrapyard, because different scrapyards have different policies with respect to insulated wire, how much they pay for it, what type they pay for it. Some of them go by a percentage, like 40% appliance wire and stuff like that. I don't know much about that. You know who does know a lot about that is Tin Man Scrapper, and Tin Man Scrapper is a great guy. He's one of the better instructional ones, in my opinion. And I think if you check his channel out, if you are a new scrapper or you want some tips, he's scrapped a little bit of everything, and he always has the most interesting things to scrap. So anyway, that's my shout out, is to Tin Man Scrapper. I've often said that the two that I've learned the most from, and there are many and many great scrappers out there, and I've done a shout out video before, but two of the ones that are the most instructional that I've learned probably the most from are Tin Man Scrapper and Scrap-It-All. And of course, if you're not signed up to either of those, I do highly recommend them. And I know that both of them have pretty good followings. Scrap-It-All, his has really seemed to have taken off, which I think is just thrilling because I think he deserves it, because he does such a good job, and he's such a kind and gentle soul, and I just really enjoy. I find great enjoyment just following his videos and seeing his passion for scrapping. Okay, so here's a heatsink. Let's see what that is. I'm hoping it's aluminum, and it is. But there's also little parts. You have to take this part off. This typically isn't aluminum. I'll double check that. Maybe it is. I don't know. But quite often that's not aluminum, and it is not aluminum. And so if you want nice clean aluminum, then you've got to peel this part off. And that's a really common thing on aluminum heat sinks. Okay, and so that just goes into the shred over there. And then there's this other little part I have to get off. Yep, some more scrap-metal. And that's off, and now we've got ourselves a nice piece of, I think this is sheet aluminum. I see. Now, I don't know what this is, but I'm guessing that this is along the lines of a MOSFET, but I don't really know what it is. It's a four-legged creature. And it is an interesting looking deal. If nothing else, the legs would be made of copper. So I think I'm going to salvage the legs off of it. It's got the letters S4VB on it. And I don't know what that is. It's got a plus and a minus. You know what that is? You let me know. You let me know. So into the copper they go. And then I'm just going to bust this open just to see what's inside. I'm hoping there's like a copper plate or something, but no, there's nothing. Oh, for sure. And that's a good question to ask you. What do you guys think of streams? Would you want to be in on my streams if I did them? I know there's some other scrappers who definitely do that, and they have some interesting videos. You know, I've certainly seen like some of them have like weekly shows, and they do an afternoon sort of gab. And so I'm thinking like Shark Scrapper and Scrapping Irish and those folks. And I like hanging out there and making bad jokes and what have you. Those are fine folks who know they've forgotten more than I know. So, I mean, these are people that are actually they might be hobby scrappers, but really they're experts. And yeah, they're definitely worth watching. So, thing to take off. So let's see, which one of my many tools am I going to use for that? So once again, we're dealing with a piece of sheet aluminum, and we're dealing with a very brittle board here, and it breaks at the first opportunity. Okay, well, I got a little piece of board out of there, and put that in there. The rest of that's gonna go in. I've got boards. Where do I have? This is enough of a piece of board that I'll save it. Try to keep my work site a little bit clean. Okay, so we've got another MOSFET here. more metal to strip from here, more ferrous metal to strip from here, steel, whatever it is. There we go, that goes in the shred. I call it steel shred. A lot of people call it tin shred. The term drives me nuts as much as I realize that that's the term, because it's not tin. Tin's a different metal, and perfectly good metal. But for whatever reason, the term tin shred caught on. And now we're left with this misnomer of a term. I like having different. I have 3 different sizes of snips, and I find that to be very useful. You know, the small, medium, and large. It depends on what I'm doing, right? And I've got a lot of things that are different sizes, because that's what my comfort is in taking these things apart, is to have different size tools. But you've got to decide for yourself, and just through doing, really. Start off with some side snips and some pliers and a hammer and a chisel and a flathead screwdriver and some Phillips screwdrivers. You know, start off with stuff like that, and then find out what you need. And some of what you need depends not only on what your preferences are, what you work well with, but also with whatever it is that you're scrapping, because, you know, your experience in terms of what you're going to end up scrapping and mine won't be the same. You know, I've kind of got this thing where I got to try to have a tool for everything, and which is lovely and all, but not everybody can afford to do that, and I can't really afford to do that. I do it anyway. But my point is you do you. You know, and again, I'm going to quote another scrapper here, Thubprint, who's about 3 hours away from me geographically. That he says, the 2 things he says at the end of his video: leave it better than you found it. You know, so he does curbside and dumpster diving and stuff. So he does have the occasion to really make sure that he's leaving it better than he found it. And so leave it better than you found it, and keep doing the thing, right? And I especially like the second part, to keep doing the thing. I like them both, but keep doing the thing. And, you know, in other words, you do you. You do you, and you do what you enjoy. You know, again, talking about my friend Scrapadol, for example, he does not find doing smaller transformers to be particularly fun. He doesn't enjoy it. They aren't worth a lot in terms of what materials you get out of it, so he doesn't do it. He has alternatives in terms of where he can sell it, and he can sell it for a reasonable amount, so he'd rather do that. Don't do it if you don't enjoy it. And of course, I'm speaking as a hobby scrapper and not as a professional. If I was a professional, I wouldn't be doing this type of scrapping, because this is financially not going to be a big return here. You know, we're going to get a few dollars out of this whole thing. And we're going to rescue materials from a landfill, and I'm going to have fun doing it. And I get to learn things while I'm at it. Things that I really didn't know until I started doing this. So, for me, it's worth it. For somebody else, maybe not so much. Okay, so the only thing left here, well, I got another IC here, so I'm gonna take that off, and then all I've got left is here. I'm not gonna do the transformers right now. Okay. All right, so put that in there, and then we'll just pull out this guy here. Okay, so I've got these 2. They look remarkably the same. I have a feeling they have remarkably the same contents in it. Maybe if I feel like it, I'll splice in the results of what came out of one of these. I'm gonna spare you from actually taking the part apart. So I'm not gonna obviously do the transformer now. The transformer, I'm not gonna probably do that one on tape. There's plenty of scrappers who have got plenty of great techniques for taking those things apart. And
we use a machete.
I'm going to try the machete technique. I might use the machete or the hatchet technique. And we'll see. I probably have to sharpen the machete first if I'm going to do that. So lots of lovely old wire here. I'm going to cut there's nice brass in here if you can get it. And I think I've been working on a technique for getting that brass out. And there's probably lots of great techniques out there, and they're probably better than mine. But I think I've started to work on getting a technique for getting that out. So I'm going to stick that here with the transformers right now. We got ourselves some wire. This here is probably, almost certainly, this is copper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip these ends off, and I'm going to put them in the copper.
One more thing I'd like to ask the viewers. With our last video, did you like how I edited out like a big portion of it, or do you like it more when like with longer videos, or do you like the shorter videos more?
And so for those people wondering to know which video he's referring to, it was the one that's called Scrapping for Gold with a Side of Ribs. And if you recall, the reference to ribs had to do with the fact that I had wrecked up my ribs, and some of the motions that are involved in doing scrapping actually aggravated my ribs, and it seems like the funniest thing. And so you'll hear me wince, and it's a bit comical, to be honest.
I left absolutely all of that in.
Yeah. So I appreciate that, because I think that was one of the funny parts of the video. Okay, well, we've got some, it's like a big old heat sink. It's got some MOSFETs on it. And I think we can get at least the basics of this thing apart before we have to venture forward on our next venture, and then we will come back to it. It'll be seamless and timeless to you, of course.
Because one of the only reasons why I hate filming is because I get to talk to my dad while I do it. Sometimes.
It's important bonding exercise between father and son.
Yes.
Important bonding exercise.
And we get to film a YouTube video for it too. Yay.
Yes, for all 41 of my subscribers.
Yeah.
If
Maybe
you're
we
watching
should
this a year from now and I have 100 subscribers, remember that at this day, that's what I had, 41. And that's because I picked up 2 recently. I cajoled somebody into becoming a subscriber, and then I had another person whom I don't know sign up. So, hello to you new subscribers. And thank you for joining. I'll say all the usual stuff to like and subscribe and all that sort of thing. Do leave a comment. And I'm not sort of concerned or upset or adverse about comments with regards to taking apart vintage items. I understand that, as with any scrapping, the first and highest use of the item is what it was intended for, what it was made for. Scrapping is the last use. And this was verified to be non-usable, that it was non-functional. I can just see from the components, many of them are very, very old, and they may be compromised as a result. I don't know. I'm not saying I'm a big expert on that, as I'm not. I'm not an electronics guy or anything. I'm just a guy who takes stuff apart. That's all I am, and I'm a rookie at that. Okay, so this here we've got like this like old what do you call it? Like a Bakelite sort of deal, I think.
Hello.
And that's our other videographer. She's not doing the videography right now, but this is Abby.
Would you like to videography?
Not really.
I'm not sure if that's a word.
I think it's so good that I think we'll call that a word. Videography.
Videography. Verb. The action of filming a video.
sources of wire. We still have a little bit left here. I'm going to take that wire off now just while I think of it. Not that I won't think of it if I don't do it now, but I'm just saying. Alright, garbage. Alright, let's take this off. What I find interesting here is this is on a piece of plywood. I mean, how interesting is that? Right? I mean, how often do you see that? Okay, and then again, I'm going to save the end off of this.
Here's a silly question for the viewers. Like, do you like chicken nuggets?
It's a very random question, but...
It's a very random question. It's a very silly question.
And what it'll tell me, if you answer this question, is that you actually stuck with this video that long.
Yes.
Which is really cool if you did. Thank you for sticking around as long as you have. Obviously, you're still watching it now if you're hearing me say this.
Because even if I shave like half of this off with editing, this is still like a 30-minute video.
Oh, yeah.
Or longer.
Well, it's a vintage item. I don't mind this one taking a little bit of time. This one here is most certainly...
Oh, geez.
Steel. Alright. So put that over there. We've got this. I'm just going to grab some components off of this really quickly. And then we're going to be done this phase of the video. Hello. So, we are at the end of the first phase of this video.
Whee!
The second phase, we will deal with the transformers, the two little ones, and this big one. And we will add that to the end of this video, you'll see. And yeah, so thank you for coming on this journey for this up to this part. We'll do the rest a little later. And stay tuned for phase 2 of this video. Okay. Hey, Scrappaloo back here again. So now what I've done is I've taken this transformer here down to its generally basic form. I did one of the transformers already, put it in with the other copper I had. This is from the other transformer. Maybe you can zoom in on the amount here. You can see that the copper that was extracted from that small transformer was 26 grams. I mentioned this for a couple reasons, but one of the reasons is because this one came so beautiful with very little tape. Didn't take much time at all. It was basically effortless to get that one done. Meanwhile, the other one was nothing but a ball of tape. And although the two looked almost identical in size, one had 15 grams of copper and the other one had 26. So all that weight and paper and crap, not only is it annoying and hard to take off, but it actually takes up a lot of the weight as well. So I'm going to do a little bit of work on this copper. The first thing I'm going on this transformer, the first thing I'm going to do is take off this copper band. And we're eventually going to try giving it the machete treatment. But for now, let's try to take off this copper band. Pause. Well, I just thought I'd mention this. I took off this copper band. It's a beautiful piece of copper. It's almost bare bright, but it's really not. It's got the sticker. So it's number 2 copper. 99 grams. So this is worth about $1 because it's roughly a penny a gram. Okay. Pause.
Go.
I am going to try the machete technique here. I don't know if this is going to work at all. And there's probably a better way to do this. I'm going to try and do this, grab the corner a little bit. Maybe that's a bad idea. I guess we're going to find out. Okay, let's give this a try.
My ears.
The handle of my machete is toast.
Oh no!
So, you know, there is that. I think it was built more for looks than for than anything else. But that's fine. The middle part is the important part. So, all right, I'm going to keep going.
My ears. I might compress the audio or something, but My ears are ringing.
Eh?
My ears are actually ringing.
You want beers? Okay. Trying with a bigger stick now. See if this helps.
I think that might be working. Just maybe. I'm not sure why the cat hasn't skedaddled yet.
So I'm getting all the I's out, of course. And the E's, of course, are still stuck in the middle with you.
I'm gonna have like an hour-long video to edit. Sadness. But I guess I don't have to do it all at one time.
Nope. No rush.
Hehe. I guess there really is no rush considering we don't have an upload schedule.
Thank goodness we don't have an upload schedule.
Jeez, we would not be able to.
We wouldn't make it.
We wouldn't make it. No.
We would not make it.
Unless it's like at least one per month.
Well, I'm trying to do that at least. I've averaged about 1.5 per month.
You think so?
Mm-hmm. I've got 12 videos up. I've been doing this since up here. Hi. Okay, I'm gonna try something a little bit different here. There's a seam where the E's and the I's meet. I'm gonna try hacking that, see what that does. Apparently nothing.
Yeah, because just like wood,
Well,
it has
I
like,
wouldn't say it's done nothing.
it has like a grain.
Listen. I wouldn't say it's done like nothing, because what it has done is it's made it easier for me to pull out some of the I's. Eventually, if I've got nothing but the E's left, that's going to be pretty easy.
Easy.
Yeah, we all saw that one coming. Okay.
I don't want to sort the E's and the I's again.
No, we don't need to sort them, I don't think. We'll bring in the bucket here and we'll throw them all in the bucket.
Even then, like, I don't like these, and I don't like the I's. I don't like either.
Yeah, I was going to do this differently, but due to lack of success with the machete technique, I'll have to go back to watching more videos and seeing what I'm doing wrong. If you know what I'm doing wrong, you tell me what I'm doing wrong, okay?
I think I know what you're doing wrong. Your machete is as dull as a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
I know that's at least one of the factors.
It's about as dull as a William Hurt movie, so sorry for any William Hurt fans out there. No, I'm not really sorry.
Oh, man.
Okay. Okay, look.
Wow.
Now you can see where the machete, I was hacking away at it, it really didn't touch this stuff at all. So, as much as I was getting through the layers...
That was unapologetic.
Yeah, it really required something more than what I was doing in order to get through. So, this is going to be the old E's and I's technique instead, and then we're going to have to figure out how to get through all this plastic, but I think I can do that.
Machete?
Oh, maybe we did have some luck here, because look, I am seeing some of this pulled up. And you can see that beautiful copper stuff underneath.
Wow!
So maybe I was slowly getting through it. Okay, can you pause? So I was making some progress with the machete, as you can see here. Of course, I had to get rid of everything around it before I really saw that progress. And so this is really, it's not the most fun to do from this point, but you know, it's okay. It's part of the deal, right? It's part of the process. So I'm probably going to take the machete again now that I know that it's at least doing something.
Copper.
And we'll get to this copper part here in a bit. All right. Okay. I wonder if it would make more sense to do this. That might fit better, actually. Believe it or not. That's the guy. And kind of, I'll say mixed results. So I think, from this point on,
I have like an hour of footage to go through.
I think we're going to try to just take this a layer at a time, which is a very slow process, but it is doable. Can you get can you pause? Hello, Scrapping Lou here with the last part. This is the wrap up. I want to first take a look here. We've got this copper. This came out of the transformer, plus about 60 grams of it are from everything else. Altogether, that's about 1,100 grams of copper, 1,050 in there. Worth, or sorry, I should say 1,100 grams worth roughly $10.50, worth roughly a penny a gram. Over here we have the about 10 cents worth of aluminum. We have about 5 cents worth of brass. We have some fasteners, which are fascinating. We've got about 5 cents worth of insulated wire. We've got this shred, which is a few pounds, not worth a whole lot. In here we have all the E's and I's from the transformer. I don't have an exact count. My scale wasn't, no, don't do that please. My scale wasn't exactly able to calculate it, but I'm going to say we had about 15 pounds of shred, and at 12.5 cents per pound, that's something like $1.80, somewhere around there. So we're going to say about $1.80, and then about $10.50. So that's what is that? $12.30, $12.40, $12.45, $12.50. About $12.50 from that particular scrap out. Plus, there's a few other things that went into the buckets. I'm also keeping 2 items from here. I'm keeping this because I think it's neat, and I am keeping that piece of wood because I don't know that I'll ever see anything else quite like it put on a piece of wood, and I think those are going to be my souvenirs from this vintage scrap out. So thank you very much. Also thank you to my friends at Giving to Charity, Giving the number 2 Charity. I'll link some stuff in the description so that you can find them. They are the source for some of these interesting items that I come across. They do a charity auction, and they help folks in need. Really, really great local cause, and John's and his wife are great folks, and I thank you very much for tuning in.
And get that Scrapping Lou over and out.
Scrapping Lou, over and out.